Today we're going to take a look at the Husky 1050 AODD. We're going to service this pump and we're going to do it in three sections. One is we're going to start with the air valve and the pilot valves. Then we're going to take a look at the outlet and the inlet manifolds. And then we'll work on the center section. Always remember, before you start working on a pump, you want to follow the manual, follow your pressure relief procedure, and disconnect it from the system. All right, with that, let's go ahead and get started. And again, like I said, we're going to start with the air valve. Now, the air valve was made to be serviceable without having to actually take the rest of the pump apart. So it's modular in concept. So there's going to be 4 bolts that hold this air valve in place. And I'm just going to remove all 4 of those bolts real quick. Okay, so I have the 4 bolts removed, and the concept is I can now remove the air valve from the pump itself, and I can choose to either service this right away and replace it, or I can have a spare and install that spare air valve, put this back into production, and then go back and service the air valve. So we'll set that aside for just a minute, and we'll take a look at the pilot valves that are located on the inside section of the actual center section. So we're just going to take our 10mm wrench, and once again we're just going to unscrew those pilot valves and remove them. Okay, so there's the first pilot valve. This is not a rebuildable item, that you can take this apart and you can clean it, but if there's something damaged or broken, this is a replacement item. All right, so we'll go ahead and remove the second one. All right, so now we have the air valve and the 2 pilot valves removed. We're going to go ahead and clear the table, and then we'll take a closer look at the air valve. Okay, so we have the air valve out on the bench ready to take down, and we're going to start by removing the air plate. There's just going to be 2 screws on the bottom, and we're just going to remove the first screw. And for the second screw, you can remove it or simply loosen it. Once you loosen it, that air plate's just going to kind of pop off. So we're just going to pick that up by the sides. We'll take it over and do a quick inspection. What you want to do is inspect the surface to make sure there's no wear or scratches on this surface. If there is, you're going to want to replace this valve. One of the signs that there's scratches on either this surface or the air cup is that during normal operations, you'll hear exhausting air coming from the muffler all the time, not just on changeover. And that's a really good indicator that one of these surfaces is damaged. All right, so we're going to now remove the air cup, and when you do that, the spring that works with the air cup and the roller balls typically going to come with this air cup. Now, this is an older air valve, and this cup is a single piece design. The new kit and newer pumps, this will be a 2-piece design, and we'll review that with the kit that we are going to bring in to rebuild this air valve in a minute. All right, the next thing we're going to do is, if you look down inside, you have the whole piston assembly that's sitting down in the air valve, and we want to push that out the side of the air valve. So we're just going to take a snap ring pliers and we'll remove this ring. Okay, we'll set the snap ring aside. Then what we're going to do is, from the inside, we're just going to put some pressure on this piston, and that's going to push the cup off the end of the air valve. And then on this cover is going to be an O-ring. Just go ahead and remove that. All right, now that it's pushed out, what's going to happen is you won't be able to, very easily anyways, pull this piston all the way through, because you're working against the sealing surface of this second U-cup. So the next thing is we're going to come in and remove this U-cup. And then we're going to come over to the other side and remove the other side of the air valve cover. All right, so now we're just going to repeat the procedure by pushing that piston on the other cover. And now the whole piston will slide right out. So we'll go ahead and remove that second U-cup. We'll pull the O-ring off of the second cover. And then as we were moving around, the detent roller assembly had fallen out of the air valve. This is what works with the spring on the air cup. And then in addition, down inside the air valve is the detent plate. Okay, so now we've completely disassembled the air valve, so we're going to clean things up and then we'll bring in the rebuild kit and we'll reverse the process.